Aha! I told you we'd be back! Ladies and gentlemen, you all know why you're here. You all know why you're here. Let's not even beat around the bush here. You know why you're here. You know what you've come to see. We are here for yet another great session with chat music because they made another trailer. And since the Snow White movie is now officially out, let's see what people have to say about the movie as a whole. Mind you, this is still Snow White trailer comments, but we'll talk about the movie afterwards. Let us begin!
I showed this trailer to my therapist, now he's in therapy.
Poor therapist.
Hello, anybody here, projector operator, just me. Snow White and the $7 total box office income.
Real quick. I will be the person that says Snow White made more than $7 total so far. Now, mind you, it's still in theaters because Disney thinks that more and more people will take their children to see a movie that doesn't need to exist. Because with a movie like this, I feel like with Disney is under the impression that if they make a live action version of a movie, then that means that they can do things in a live action movie they couldn't with the older film, or that the live action movie will actually be better than the classic animated film, which has proven to really not be the case. I mean, how many strikes do you get out? Are you out of in baseball? 3, right? They've at least, how many times can one suffer a heart attack before the last one actually gets them? 3, right? And yet this thing has had as many heart attacks and as many strikes as Fred Sanford, a person that should be dead after 3 heart attacks, and he done already had 15. This is literally Disney with their live action films right now. And you mean to tell me they want to do Hercules? They want to do Bambi? They want to do Robin Hood? They're already trying to do a live action Moana for a film that hasn't been out long enough to warrant a live action version! I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent here. We haven't even gotten past the 16-second mark. I'm sorry.
Movie janitors are getting a day off with this one. I threaten my kids with this trailer when they misbehave.
Look, if any parent shows their children this movie rather than the classic one, that is child endangerment. That is, where are the Child Protective Services? Where is CPS? Where is CPS? If you are showing your children the live-action Snow White movie, you do not deserve to have children. Send them to their grandmas where they'll be better taken care of. They may come back a little bit fatter because grandmas like to feed them kids, but at least they'll have happier lives. I honestly don't see this, because you would have to be oblivious to the original animated film to willingly take your children to see this and think this is good at all. I've been listening to reviews all over, listening to spoilers all over, because I have no intention of watching this movie. And the writing is just so dreadful and disappointing. The plot is just dumb. How do you take something that has already been established and just decide to change stuff because you think you can do better than an almost 100-year-old film? When a movie that is 90 years old does storytelling, character development, and just overall appeal better than a movie that is made with the technology we have now. This thing is the old film is several decades old, and it's leagues better than this. How? How do you have a blueprint and said, I'm gonna go off of memory? How do you do this? You got instructions. This is like someone buying a sofa from IKEA and throwing the manual away because they're just gonna wing it. This is literally the equivalent of saying, nah, I don't need these instructions that tell me how to make this pristine piece of art or this pristine piece of furniture that for a bevy of people can enjoy on their own time. No, I'm just gonna take this dart and throw it. No, I'm going to make this furniture with my eyes closed. Everyone will still accept it once it's done because I put a lot of effort into it. Sorry, I'm just in a roasting mood already because this film upsets me to see. I haven't watched the film, mind you. Just seeing anything dealing with it other than chat music roasting it, it makes my stomach turn with anger.
So Fogler, this is the perfect movie to watch on a plane. The odds of two disasters happening to you at the same time are very slim.
I didn't think that comment was going to go in that direction. I honestly thought that this is the perfect movie to watch on a plane because it'll put you to sleep and that plane ride will be even shorter. I honestly thought that comment was going to say, this movie will put you to sleep and your plane ride will just fly on by, pun intended.
Stephen Hawking would have walked out of the theater if he'd had to watch this film. Mirror, mirror on the wall, a white and the 7 pronouns. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Helen Keller just gouged her eyes out. Snow White looks like those Indians that built houses in the jungle. Disney used to touch hearts, now they touch you like a creepy uncle.
No. Shots fired. Someone call the ambulance because we got a man down. What is this? Who comes up with these comments? Y'all are some creative people, every single one of you. How y'all be coming up with comments like this? But nah, we need some. Where's the Robitussin? Where's the aloe vera for that burn? I'm just saying. What you mean? Hold on.
I have like a creepy jungle. Disney used to touch hearts, now they touch you like a creepy uncle.
I think this might be the most savage burn that I've seen throughout this video so far. Because this has to be the most truest statement for Disney right now. They used to touch hearts. I used to be happy to see Disney films. I used to. Now I'm not, because Disney seems to, and people who are defending this movie will say, this has nothing to do with Disney running out of ideas. Apparently so, because why are we getting old-timey classic films turned into live action with literal no heart from the original kept in it? Why? Disney doesn't touch your heart anymore. It likes to touch your wallet. It likes to slip its hand in your back pocket and, feel around for a little bit, make sure it's in a comfy spot, and then just draw out the rich wallet just a little bit. It likes to caress the backside, whichever cheek has the wallet in it. It likes to it likes to move its fingers while it's trying to get into your back pocket. It's not smooth anymore. It now moves the fingers because now you're feeling uncomfortable, and you feel the fingers moving in spots that it shouldn't be moving in as they draw your wallet and say like, yes, give us the money for this film. Give us your heart because we won't give you ours. This is Disney now. Such a disappointment. I used to love Disney and everything they did. Please. Stop with the nonsense. And they'll look at us. They'll look at people like me. They'll look at people like you. They'll look at people who make these comments and say that we're the issue that these movies don't succeed. We won't take any accountability for anything that we do that makes these films bad, but it's your fault because you didn't go see them and they didn't do well in the box office. It's your fault. And when we call out this nonsense online, we are called haters, we are called toxic, we are called vitriol of online. I heard some idiots say use vitriol, and well, we all know how bad The Acolyte was. But we are seen as the naysayers, the negative voices that shouldn't be listened to. And all we're saying is stop making stuff like this because it doesn't work. Just because Lion King gave you $1 billion does not. Here's the thing: Lion King, the live action, it wasn't even live action. It made me say live action. It wasn't even live action. The CGI photorealistic movie of the Lion King made $1 billion, but it was just mid at best. It was a mid movie that made a ton of money because, one, you put a whole bunch of names on it. You got Beyonce, you got Danny Glover, you got James Earl Jones reprising his role as Mufasa, and James Earl Jones was like in his 80s or 90s during that time when the movie came out. You put a whole bunch of names on it and people are all like, oh, this person's in this movie. Well, it could be good, but it doesn't have the same heart. Disney's heart basically... It's no longer where it needs to be in order for me to say, go watch a Disney movie. I can't picture anyone saying, go watch a Disney movie now. You can say one from back then. You can definitely watch movies from back then, but definitely not now. Look at me going on a rant. I'm not even all the way through this video yet. I'm so sorry, but this is just sad.
This is possibly the only step on video I haven't wanted to see. The dwarfs look like unused models from the Polar Express.
When you're right, you're right. Because those faces in the Polar Express were what we call uncanny valley. And what is described as uncanny valley is a sense of realism that you know is fake and it... Ooh, where did that one come from? A sense of realism with CGI where you know it's trying to capture realism, but it's not there. And it distracts you because of how much it's not as realistic as it appears. For example, Uncanny Valley would not describe Thanos from any of the Avengers movies, especially Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. Uncanny Valley describes replicating Peter Cushing's face in Rogue One of Star Wars. You know it's CGI, but even though it looks kind of good, you can tell that Uncanny Valley is knowing that a face is CGI rather than seeing the character as the character. You see a CGI model. That is the thing with the dwarves in this movie. They're photorealistic and so uncanny valley that you're more distracted by how they look. And they're supposed to look, cartoonishly CGI, but still also fit in the world, and it just doesn't work that way. See, Sonic was a good example of taking a character that should not fit in the world that we live in, and it actually fits. Like, the models look good. Not ugly Sonic, but the ones that we got now. Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, even Shadow. They all look great. That's quality. But you get the dwarves of Snow White, and it's like, yeah, this is my first time making CGI characters. I got my bachelor's degree. I'm good at it. I'm good. Yeah, don't they look good? They look good. That's basically the models for the dwarves. And you want to know something? The dwarves have hardly any effect of the story of Snow White at all. Yeah, that's a little spoiler for you. They have barely any impact on the story whatsoever. They show up, and they're not really used much throughout the entire film at all, until near the end. They're basically just there to fill the role of the seven dwarves, and then it just focuses on Snow White and her being fearless and brave and kind and the fairest of them all. I'm gonna spoil the ending for Snow White for all of y'all. I'm gonna spoil it for you, so y'all ain't got to worry about it. No, don't roast him so badly. Why? That is not what you want attached to your movies. Snow Off White and the Seven Offenders.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Snow Off White and the Seven registered offenders. Mirror, mirror on the wall. My therapist to call.
Is it going to be the same therapist who went to go see this movie and now he needs therapy? That just went full circle. This is the comment that precedes the therapist going to see this movie and then needing therapy after. This is the before. What we saw at the beginning was the after.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, one shall stand and one shall fall. Shut it.
Look, stop. Okay. All right. So what you're telling me is you can't be having my ain't this funny? We got Transformers 1. It barely got any marketing, and it was one of the best films of last year. Now we have Snow White, which has a whole bunch of marketing, and then they cut it off at the end because they were scared of the backlash, and now it's one of the worst movies to release this year. It is literally March. It is March. We still got several months left before this year's over. Really? That's a shame. But I'm not surprised. What did you all expect? Did you think that we were just gonna suddenly get a whole bunch of rave reviews from this movie? Like, there are people who say this movie is good. I question their sanity and if they're taking their medication. But this movie is not good. It is not good. It is not good. I don't need to watch this movie to know it's not good. And listening to qualified people who do movie reviews and actually do it unbiasedly for a reason, not to mention the many sites that say that this movie is essentially a flop. How? This is supposed to be the remake of the film that put Disney on the map. This film is supposed to be the one that revitalizes Disney. You take one of the most successful films, animated films of all time, especially when you estimate for inflation, one of the most successful, if not the most successful animated film of all time. And you make a remake that is so beneath it that the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs made Disney into a household name. Sure, there were other things, but the first full-length feature film from Disney, and it basically set the foundation for Disney to become a literal global powerhouse. And you get a remake decades later, and it's like, you wonder what happened to Disney overall. What happened to Disney? Also, spoilers for the ending of Snow White 2025. Snow White is about to be executed near the end of the film, and what saves her is her remembering the names of the guards who are about to kill her. Because in this world of Snow White, the evil queen, for some odd reason, has allowed the people to just live in poverty for literally no other reason except that she's just, an evil person. But they really have to make you understand why the villain is evil. Snow White she gets captured, she's about to be executed, and the way she gets out of it is because she remembers the name of the guards who are about to execute her. And when everyone starts turning on the queen decides, I'm fed up, she smashes the magic mirror, and then somehow this causes her to just turn and burst into dust, and then the magic mirror reforms itself, and that's the end of the queen. There is no the dwarves chase her at the end of the film, where she then meets her end by trying to kill the dwarves, but then she falls to her death off of a cliff because of a lightning strike that causes the ground underneath her to give way like the original film did. I'm going back into the deepness of my mind and memory for this one. No, she gets done in by smashing the mirror, and then she turns into dust that way. She basically just gets Thanos snapped at the end of the film. That's it. That's Snow White. Enjoy! But seeing comments like this, it's no shock. It's not a surprise to me. It's disappointing that Disney has reached a spot where you really can't look forward to anything they got going on. Now, mind you, I'm saying this, and I haven't seen the Lilo and Stitch trailer. I haven't seen that one yet. So I'm not going to say that Disney has completely gone under. But when you get movies like Snow White, which is supposed to be a representation of all the years of Disney's history, and basically, like, it's like John Wick building the foundation for Vigo's entire empire. This was a foundation of building in Disney's entire empire. This was the OG foundation. And you release a remake that is so undeniably mid that that anyone with functioning brain cells can look at it and tell that it's bad? Remember the wonderful world of Disney, the magic kingdom of Disney, the marvel that is Disney. What happened? What happened? Let me know down in the comments down below. Chat Music, thank you for making Snow White more entertaining than the actual film itself. Because Lord knows Disney could use the publicity, even if it's negative in this respect, because they need help. But I'm done with this reaction. All I can say to everyone here is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.